Ladies and gents, folks of the YouTube, welcome back. If you happen to be new, do not forget to subscribe while you're here. I appreciate that big time. Also, if you are new, it's probably because you have a Honda CRF450x or 250x with electric start and it's broken. And every once in a while I make these little specialty how-to videos when I run into something here at my motorcycle shop that is a common issue. And in the last couple months, since I've opened the commercial location, I'm getting a ton of people bringing me dirt bikes, and seems like a lot of them are CRFs with electric start problems. So I've learned a thing or two about these bikes as far as the common stuff that goes wrong, and there's basically three things that can go wrong with your electric start. We're going to go over each one of those things. The problem is the most common thing that's going to go wrong is a Honda design issue failure big time. They screwed up. Yeah, let's dive into this and I'll show you what is probably wrong with your CRF that has electric start. Time to trade that thing in for a KTM. Oh, just kidding. We'll get it fixed. So you can see our lovely example bike here is a 2005 CRF450x. We got her all torn apart, and if we look down here, this is what we got going on. So your starter sits right here, a little gear comes through there, and I suppose we'll say that's number one thing that could go wrong is the starter. Probably not the most common thing to go wrong. The second thing that can go wrong is this guy right here. So this is your starter clutch or your Sprague clutch, depending on what you like to call it. But if you look, see, this is a one-way clutch. Spins freely this way, does not spin freely that way. That way turns the motor over. These do go bad. They're about 50 bucks, and the easiest way to check it is you take everything apart and you see if it just spins one way. Now, when I say that's the easiest way to check it, you can also check if you take the starter out and stick your little finger in there. But this is the wild card. But if this is bad, you will think that your starter clutch is bad, but it's actually this guy right here. And this is the most common thing that goes wrong on a CRF with electric start. It's called the starter reduction gear. And these two gears should not move independently of each other. This is a pressed on gear, and if you see this one, I can easily push it off. Should not be able to do that. So they have a press fit. This is a bad design. This is the weak point of this motorcycle, the biggest weak point at least. So they do sell an aftermarket one that is going to have a little keyway right in here, and I have one of them on order for this particular bike. And while we're waiting and while it's apart, I figured I'd make a little video to kind of help you diagnose yours. Also, when you're trying to get to that, you're going to need to take out your clutch and drain your coolant. The water pump's got to come off, and basically this whole cover has to come out to get access back here. Don't worry, it's not that big of a job. You're going to need to get a new gasket. I think they're about 12 bucks. These are about 50 or 60 bucks. And there's a company that sells them on eBay that is better than the Honda one. Do not buy the Honda one because it's a piece of crap and it's going to break again. If it broke once, it will break again. So like I said, you're going to have problems with your CRF. It's not an if, it's a when. It's a design issue. When you do fix it though, spend a little bit of money and buy the upgraded aftermarket part, and you won't run into that issue again. I also recommend replacing the starter clutch while you replace the reduction gear. You're already in there. It's only 50 bucks. So just to be sure, replace that while you're there. The starter itself, those run about 135, I think. Not as common to go bad, unfortunately, even though it's the easiest thing to replace. Oh, speaking of the starter, to get the starter out, you do have to take the subframe, take the bottom part up, pull that all up, get everything out of the way, because with the cam chain tensioner, you're not getting that starter out. Just not going to happen. So, yeah, CRF problems. You know, overall, they're pretty good bikes. I'm not a huge fan of the big 4-strokes. I think that they cost way too much money to keep running. I always tell my customers, go buy yourself a nice 250 or 300 2-stroke. Shoot, the new ones are fuel injected. They have electric start. They're great. The problem is they cost 12 grand. These bikes are getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper, but be careful because they're expensive to fix. This bike has a whole smorgasbord of stuff that's not just the starter wrong with it, but that's for another video and for another day. Just a little quick video to go over the electric start problems that are common on these CRF 450 and 250Xs. As always, thanks for tuning in. If you are new, please subscribe while you're here, and we'll see you on the next one.